Mike. Boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson.
People are dying because of misinformation.
My side of the bed was human fecal matter.
We've got an interesting one today. We've got some tawdry stuff like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard pooping in the bed, Mike Tyson beating a dude up on a flight, and also some interesting stuff. Joe Biden tweeted some stuff about inflation. Obama said that people are dying from misinformation. Which information is that, Mr. President? All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go.
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
From the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live, and today it is April 22nd, the year of our Lord 2022. A lot of stuff happened yesterday. Not a lot of it newsworthy, but still entertaining nonetheless. At least the Johnny Depp Amber Heard Amber Heard thing. Holy cow! I didn't know how much attention that was getting. So we got a clip from it about the bed pooping. The pooping in the bed, in case you haven't heard that yet. It's kind of entertaining and fascinating. Obama spoke yesterday too, so we've got some clips of that, him saying some silly things, as Obama is one to do. But I wanted to start off, you know what? We'll go carrot first. Here's Mike Tyson. Oops. Mike Tyson was on a flight the other day, yesterday maybe. TMZ Sports got a hold of this and punched a dude in the face. There's a clip of him beating somebody up, and then the full clip kind of exposed itself, as these things generally do. Somebody was filming in the back, and Tyson was wailing on this dude in first class. But then the front end of it, of what happened beforehand, made a lot of people go, I could see that. We'll just play it. I tried to bleep out all the bleeps here, so I don't know. Watch this for what it is. It's just funny. If you haven't already, click the little like button, click the little share button, because this is that Friday entertainment. Watch this.
This is George talking to Mike Tyson, bro. This crazy, bro. Mike Tyson. My dog done got lit, man. He over here rapping with Tyson. Mike Tyson trying to give us some shrooms. He don't know how to act. Tyson looking out, man. This crazy.
He should have never gave you his money.
Peasants. They're peasants. That's all right.
JetBlue, InFlight. Boy just got beat up by Mike Tyson. Turn that way. Yeah, he got up. Just trying to ask for an autograph, man.
Hey. Hey, Mike, come on. Let's go stop back. Let's do the horse, man.
So if you're just watching or just listening to this on the podcast, this guy was like tormenting Mike Tyson, leaning over the seat, talking to him. And then I don't know what, just kept talking to Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson turned around and punched him in the face a couple times. And then the guy in the video saying, he was just trying to ask for an autograph. Get out of here with that crap. Mike Tyson had an interesting quote a couple of years ago, I think. Social media made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. I couldn't agree more. As a person that gets a lot of heat on social media constantly, it is interesting. I'd wonder if any of the people that I see in my Twitter comment section, or even in the comment section in this show, I know there's a lot of people that comment a bunch of crazy things here, would ever say these sorts of things to my face in person. I don't know, maybe. If you do, I would like to. I'd like to have a conversation. I think that'd be fun. Don says, you don't mess with Mike Tyson. Yeah, that seems like a freaking good idea. Former heavyweight champion of the world. I wouldn't mess with him. So that is that. Let's see where we want to get to. Where do we want to go? Let's go with Obama and then get into the LA County story. If you're not paying attention to this LA County mask thing, oh, it's delicious and awful at the same time. I happen to live LA County adjacent. If you're familiar with the show, I live in Southern California, unfortunately, behind enemy lines in California. A lot of things to talk about in California today. But Obama gave a speech at Stanford the other day, yesterday, I believe. No, it was yesterday. Said some things that were kind of interesting, especially coming from him. Obama, not necessarily known to be a bomb chucker. He is the most popular Democrat in the country still. Usually that would be the president of the United States, the leader of the party de facto. But unfortunately for the Dems, the president is currently Joe Biden and the vice president is Kamala Harris. So by default, the former president, Barack Obama, is the most popular Democrat in the country. Watch this. Listen to some of the stuff he says. Then we're going to pause, comment a little bit, and then we've got a very short clip of him talking misinformation. Here we go.
People like Putin, and Steve Bannon for that matter, understand it's not necessary for people to believe this information in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
So the president, former President Barack Obama, makes some decent points about the culture of news media nowadays. Here's where I would strongly disagree with him. He said that people losing trust in the mainstream media and the institutions. Well, I would ask, do you think the mainstream media and the institutions did anything to lose the trust of the American people? I would argue, yes. They did a fantastic amount of garbage nonsense, especially over the last 2 years, for everybody to lose faith in the mainstream media. He does kind of make a point. Well, I don't know if this is the point that he was making, but I'll add to it. We do, as a society, have to get through this whole what's real and what's not situation. Censoring stuff on Twitter is not going to work. Censoring stuff on social media as a whole, Facebook. I'm locked out of TikTok, by the way, for different conversation for a different time. Censorship is not going to work. It's going to have to be a rough sledding couple of years for Americans to figure out what is real and what is not, and what they can trust and what they can't. Where we would disagree, Mr. President, Obama, is how to get the American people to trust in that media. It's not by censoring, quote unquote, whatever you think is fake news, because who gets to decide what's fake news? It's not about censoring misinformation, because a lot of times the misinformation is also coming from your side. What I think is going to happen, and Bill Maher would agree with this, is there's a 10-year, 15-year, 5-year, whatever it is, long slog of Americans trying to figure it out on their own. And that's, I think, the only way we get out of this. But again, the president talking about misinformation and comparing Steve Bannon to Vladimir Putin. Like, get out of here with that crap, dude. Watch this, where he talks about misinformation in this short clip.
Around 1 in 5 Americans is still willing to put themselves at risk and put their families at risk rather than get vaccinated. People are dying because of misinformation. I already mentioned the 2020 presidential election.
So the only question that I would ask President Obama is, which misinformation are you talking about? Are you talking about the misinformation that consistently came out of the CDC for the last 2 years? Talking about the misinformation that Dr. Fauci spewed on cable news every single day for the last 2 years? Where is he, by the way? Talking about the misinformation that CNN and MSNBC and a lot of your alphabet networks just pushed constantly. What about the misinformation coming from the county health officials? Any misinformation there? Because there are some counties in the country that are still putting masks on their citizens. Which brings us to this. LA County masking up again. You thought we would be done with this, but Los Angeles County reinstates mask mandates on public transit, LAX, and ride shares. I don't ever fly out of LAX, but if I did, I would not wear a mask just to say, screw you. Public Health is issuing a health officer order to note that masking in all public transit places within LA County and in LA County indoor transportation hubs continue to be required. Okay. Per the revised order, masking continues to be required to be worn from everybody 2 years and older, regardless of their COVID vaccination status, which should mean nothing to you in terms of masking on public transit within the county, and includes wearing masks on commuter trains, subways, buses, trains, taxis, ride shares. Masking continues to also be required indoor transportation hubs, including airports, bus terminals, trains, subways, stations, seaports, and other indoor port terminals and any other indoor areas that serve as a transportation hub. Aside from that making zero sense whatsoever, I'm curious about how implementable that'll be. There is a train that leaves pretty close to where I live, in a county that does not succumb to the dictatorial edicts of the health organization of the county. What's that lady's name? Barbara Ferrer? If you live in LA County, you've seen her face again. Apparently, she's the tyrant of LA County, can dictate anything she wants at any point. I'm wondering if the train leaves in the county that I live in and goes into LA County as it does, do you have to put the mask on mid-train because of LA County's? I don't know how this is workable. Also, interesting fun fact, the last major metropolitan area to reinstate mask mandates was Philadelphia. And this is how this went. Philadelphia health officials will end mask mandates just 4 days after it was reinstated. Business owners and residents all resisted the restrictions. So Philadelphia was like, well, what happened was the elected officials in Philadelphia were like, I think we're going to lose our populace here and probably lose our seats next time around. So maybe let's not do this anymore, which is where they took it off. Let's see. Interesting. All right. I want to get to this. We'll get to this right now. Bed poop. I was not able to get over this. This is the entire... If you're watching the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard saga, I don't know, the defamation suit that went on in London and now it's going on here. Johnny Depp testified yesterday. I think Amber Heard even testified yesterday. There's a lot of testimony going on yesterday. I had no freaking idea how many people were paying attention to this. The reason I say that is because I jumped onto YouTube really quick because I saw that was happening and I figured I'd check it out because I'm trying to be good at my job here. 50,000 people were watching the YouTube stream on the CBS YouTube live stream. That is huge. Obviously, 50,000 people doesn't sound like a lot, but for a live stream on a YouTube channel, that is massive. I had no idea. Fox was going gavel to gavel with this thing. A bunch of your mainstream media outlets were. I had no idea it was this big. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section of why we're covering this to the extent that we are. All at the same time, while I will play this clip from the the testimony of Johnny Depp about bed poop. This is a new low. We've sunk to a new low. All right. Here we go. We're going to listen to this Johnny Depp. So this is fascinating too. He's a world-renowned actor. Terrible storyteller. Go with that mindset in mind. Watch this.
He says he looked at it on his phone.
I'll overrule the objection as the photograph.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter. So I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I laughed. It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. So I did not go down there that day.
So Johnny Depp talking about, I don't know. World-renowned actor, not very good at talking on his stand in a jury. That's enough of that. We don't need to get into that. Then he started talking about his dogs. Well, she said it was dog poop. I said, "Oh, those are not dog poop. That I've been with these dogs for so long. That was not the dog poop." Let's see. Let's get to this. Joe Biden tweeted this the other day, and I thought it was almost too funny. Talking about inflation. I don't know. Joe Biden said, "I know that families are still struggling with higher prices. I grew up in a family where the price of gas went up. When the price of gas went up, we felt it. Let's be absolutely clear about why the prices are high right now. COVID and Vladimir Putin." All right, so we're not going to at all mention the enormous amounts of money that are being pumped into the system by the President of the United States and his administration and the House and Senate, who are also controlled by his party. So we're not going to get into any of that. Inflation isn't caused by printing an excess amount of money and the government spending an excess amount of money and going into huge amounts of debt. None of that has to do with inflation. It's just COVID, which is a disease that has essentially been diminished to I don't really think about it anymore. And Vladimir Putin, who is disrupting the world. Yeah, I'll give him that. But I don't know. Even if you wanted to argue that, he should probably even argue China. Shanghai is the biggest city in China. It's China's New York. 24 million people there, 25 million people there. It's like entirely shut down, which a lot of products come from there. That actually would cause some inflation, but he didn't even mention that. Just Vladimir Putin and COVID. Okay. So there were some polling numbers that I want to talk about with Joe Biden. Came out the other day. Now on Daily Caller Live is PragerU contributor and host of her own show each and every day, Amala Epanobi. Amala, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Jobob. How are you?
Can't complain. Just going through some polling numbers, and I'd love to get a couple takes on this. So you're in California too, as well, right?
I am, unfortunately. I am living here in California.
I am too, and I thought this was fascinating. Berkeley, not like
right.
Some Orange County private school. University of California, Berkeley did a poll based on of Californians trying to see how well they thought the Biden administration was doing. Biden in California was only at a 50% approval rating and a 46% disapproval rating. He's at 33% in the Quinnipiac poll nationally. In their own backyard, in the bluest of blue encaves, why is it that low? Usually, just for reference, like Obama was like 70, 80% among California voters. Why is that happening?
Well, first things first, I don't think the lies are holding up anymore. This administration made a lot of promises before being put in place. And I think specifically Berkeley students are maybe looking at those tuition payments and going, wait a second, you're not forgiving student loans like you said you were going to be doing. And that's not happening as fast as you promised. Plus, we're living in California. And if you've been here, you know exactly what it's like. We're paying exorbitant amounts of money to live in a state that is completely deteriorating. So I'm not surprised by these numbers.
What is even more surprising, so Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States, California Attorney General, then California Senator from the Bay Area, all things California, her approval rating among Californians in this same poll, 35%. Is there anything you think she can do to, bump that up, or is she just kind of screwed because she's a bad politician?
I think she's just kind of screwed because she's a bad politician. She maybe needs to get a little bit better at lying or painting a pretty picture of what they're doing to this country right now. She tried to get in there, using the black card, using the female card. It turns out when your actions don't result in anything good for Americans, their support for you really fizzles out. It's shocking.
So we've had conversations on the TPUSA couch, just kind of about the movement and in general. And you have a fascinating backstory. Can you kind of give our viewers who might be a little new to you or to PragerU some insight onto you personally?
Sure. I'll make a long story very short. I was raised being sort of indoctrinated with the ideology of the political left and all of that dogma, and raised through the lens of race and gender. So I viewed myself very much so as a victim in this country. And I wanted to be an activist. So when I graduated high school, I started working for the political left, doing that full time until the ideology and the ideas that I had crumbled right in front of my face, and I saw the hypocrisy and the lies and the failure to really take action and do things that are good for this country. So I left the left and realized that I was actually a spooky conservative that I was scared of all my life, and started making videos about it, and now I'm here.
That's awesome. So at the Daily Caller, my thing is, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody in our movement, but there's a lot of doom and gloom in the conservative movement. A lot of oh no, the world is ending. I tend to take a lighter-hearted look at the news and try and reach an audience in that route. What is the audience that you're going for with your daily show now on PragerU, and how do you feel like you can bring them into the more freedom, less government category?
Sure. So my show, Unapologetic, is for everybody and anybody, and from all walks of life, from every side of the political spectrum. But in the conversations that I have, I really am talking to my old self, that old 17-year-old me who was super leftist, wanted to be an activist, and sort of coming to them with a compassionate plea for understanding why they believe what they believe, but saying, you might be wrong about this, and here's why. So that's who we're trying to reach.
Interesting. And I guess how receptive have they been to you thus far? Because you've blown up on all of the social media platforms, and I'm just curious what's the reception look like, at least right now?
There's a lot of different feelers that I put out and a lot of different responses. I've been protested a couple of times by the political left, but I think that just comes with the territory of being a conservative. But yesterday I did a show called Devil's Advocate, where I play the leftist perspective and I interview a conservative, espousing their views and trying to see who's right. And we go through a little debate. And in the comments, I saw a lot of leftists saying, I am here to see whether or not she accurately represents our views and then to see where she lands. So there's something about really giving a good faith argument for why they think the way they think that I think can create a bridge between the two sides.
Okay, so in that line, how important to you is that good faith, not straw man argument in the overall, like obviously with you, but in the overall conservative movement? Do you see that like taking a forefront, or is it kind of some people miss some things that they maybe should cover because it doesn't help their side of the argument? That was a weird question.
No, it's fine. It's something that I actually ponder a lot. I think, and I will be honest, there is a lot of straw manning on our side, and I do see a lot of conservative commentators and leftist commentators say the same thing. They're stupid, they're indoctrinated. I have no idea why they believe what they believe, but I ask those people to sort of step back and think that everybody has their own human experiences that lead them down the path of believing whatever it is that they believe. And as soon as we can admit that and acknowledge that and say, I may disagree with you, but I can see why you might land there. I think that's where we start unifying. That's where we start actually being able to have these civil discussions, which I think the world is so devoid of right now.
Dude, so well spoken. Love that. Amala, hey, thanks so much. Where can people find you? What's the show called? Where can they find it? And where can they find you via social media and all the other stuff?
Sure. So the show is called Unapologetic Live. You can go on YouTube and search my name, Amala Epinobi. I know it's a mouthful, but if you search it, you will find me. And on all other platforms, you can find me at Amala Epinobi. You can also see my face on PragerU, on their website, and on their app, PragerU.
Awesome. Amala Epinobi, thank you so much for joining Daily Caller Live. Looking forward to checking out the show each and every weekday, you said, right?
Yes, each and every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, guys.
All right. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
So that was Amala Epinobi of PragerU, her new show every single day, just talking about some Biden polling that was pretty dismal and isn't getting any better. That's going to do it for us today and this week. Really appreciate it if you stick around the entire show. I know there's a lot of you out there that do that. Do. Johnny Depp, bed poop. I'm 11 years old. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms at JOBOB. Let's see, what other announcements this week? Go check out the Candace Show if you haven't already on this week and next week. So yeah, if you've subscribed to Daily Wire, subscribe to the Daily Wire. You can go ahead and do that. You can also follow me again anywhere: JOBOB, Twitter, Gitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Truth Social, all of the social media platforms. Not TikTok, I guess, because I'm kicked off of TikTok. Maybe we'll talk about that more on Monday. Actually, no, we will not be here Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday. Monday is my wife's. I was going to say the age. My wife's birthday is on Monday, and I feel like we're getting to the point where I can't say the actual age. I need to stop. So we'll be taking Monday off, and we'll see you at same time, same place on Tuesday morning from the Dinchy Bunker. Appreciate all you taking the time to listen and tune in. And if you miss any segment, you can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, or on the brand new YouTube channel. Let's see if anybody's on there yet. You can also watch on, listen on any of your podcasts. I'm going to stop talking. It's been a long week. We're done with the week. Over it. Have a great weekend. God bless America.